Hi, welcome to People Like Us.
A podcast where we talk about different topics and share our opinions, hoping to find people like us and hoping people like us. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Miranda.
And not much is changing in the world. I feel so like thinking about stuff to talk about. It's just like the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot's changing, but also it's all the same stuff. Like, all I can think about is like three things, and that's it.
It's a lot of stuff is changing like in my apartment, but everything outside the apartment is exactly the same, and it's weird. Like, that's how I feel. Like, it's not the same. It's just, it doesn't seem like we're progressing towards anything.
I know.
It feels like for the past 4 months, it was like there was a moment where it was like everything is changing right now, but it's just been that same thing for 4 months.
Yes.
And nothing has really changed.
Yeah. I'm like if I respond to that, I won't stop talking for like 20 minutes.
Well, I'll just talk about the stuff that's been changing inside of my apartment. How about that?
Yeah.
We'll start there.
It's lovely.
The biggest, like, most wonderful thing finally happened, and that is the new Paper Mario game came out, and it finally got to me.
I love how you were saying that, and I didn't think that that's what you were going to say was the best thing.
It's really, like, I love Paper Mario so much. I don't know why, but, like, it's probably my favorite of any Mario series game is Paper Mario.
Mm-hmm.
But the new one came out. It came out on last Friday, I think. But I went through like all of these struggles just to get this stupid game. It's not a stupid game. It's the best game ever. But so I wanted to get the game like when it came out. So I was looking at different places to see if there was any like sort of pre-order deals or anything. And I went to GameStop, and it seemed like they were the only ones who had anything special going on. And it was, if you pre-order the game, you get free pins with it. So I was like, okay, seems worth it to me. I'm getting free stuff, and I'm not getting any free stuff from anyone else, so I'm just going to do it. So I had to order it online from GameStop.com. Well, I didn't have to, but that's just like what I would prefer to do instead of leaving my house in a time where we're not supposed to leave the house for things that are non-essential.
Hint, hint.
So I ordered it online, and unfortunately there was no pickup in-store option available. So I had to, it was going to be delivered 2 days after it came out. And I was like, fine, I'll suffer for the free pins, whatever. So it was supposed to come on Monday. It was actually 3 days because Sunday. So it was supposed to come on Monday, and I got an update, an email that was like, we tried to deliver your package, but no one was home. Which is a lie, because I have been home for the past 4 months, not doing anything. And I was expecting this package to arrive, so I was sitting in the living room. So I was very upset, and it was FedEx who was doing it. So I called FedEx, and I was like, hey, they said they tried to deliver it, and I wasn't home when I was literally in the living room waiting for it to come. And they were like, oh, well, they'll try to deliver it tomorrow. I was like, are you kidding me? Why? I don't even think they tried to come in. So then at that point, I was like, I found out where like the shipping location was, and it was only a 10-minute drive from where I lived. So I was like, I'm going to FedEx, and I'm going to pick up my game. So I called them again, and this is like the main FedEx customer service line. So it's not like the specific location. And it was like 6:00, and I'm like, hi. So I'm impatient, and I want my game, and it should have been at my house an hour ago, but you messed up. So I'm going to come and get it. And I need to know where it is. Where can I get it? So they told me, and it's this location that's 10 minutes away. And so I was like, if I go over there right now, can I pick it up? It is there. And the guy was like, yes, go get your game. So I drive to this location, and there is no one around, no one. And I'm calling all these numbers that they have listed on their front door. And I'm like trying to get to someone because I was told I could pick up my game right now. They closed an hour before the guy.
Wait, sorry, the
So I
internet
was not
just
getting my game on Monday.
went all weird. It closed an hour before what?
Very upsetting. And then, what was that?
It was getting all weird. So it closed an hour before what?
Yeah, it closed an hour before I talked to the guy on the phone. The guy that was like, yes, go over there now and get it. So I didn't get my game. It was completely empty. So I was like, I guess I'll get it tomorrow. So I waited the next day and it came. I was very happy about that. But I opened up the package and there are no pins. And I was like, the only reason that I did not get this game the day that it came out when I could have just downloaded it on the Switch console was for those pins. I love free stuff. So I call GameStop and I'm like, hey, so I pre-ordered this game. It was supposed to come with pins and it didn't. And the guy was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know about any pin offer. And I was like, literally, if you pre-ordered the game from GameStop, you get pins for free. And he was like, I don't see anything like that. And this is the main GameStop location, like their customer service for like all GameStops. And I'm like, how do you not know what is going on? So I was like, okay, you're an idiot, bye. I didn't say that. But then I called the 3 locations nearest to me. I called the first one. Hey, I pre-ordered the Mario game. You know those pins that are supposed to come with it? I didn't get them. Can I come in and get them? And the first place was like, we actually didn't get our pins either. What?
How does that
Called the second location and they were like, I do not know. I do not know. I called the second location and they were like, we don't have those pins. That's something you ordered it online. You would have to get it in the mail or whatever. And I was like, okay, you're an idiot too, bye. And so I called the third location and I spoke to this girl and I was like, hey, you know the pre-order pins for the Paper Mario game? And she was like, yes. And I was like, do you have them? And she was like, yes. And I said, I pre-ordered my game online and it did not come with the pins. Can I come to you right now and get my pins? And she said, you pre-ordered it online? And I said, yes. And she said, come on down, we'll give you your pins. And I was like, score, free pins. So we drive to this GameStop and I walk inside and I see the girl that I talked to on the phone and I said, hey, I called earlier about those pins. She looks to the guy that she's working with and she said, oh yeah, he called, he pre-ordered the game online, and I told him we would give him his pins. And the guy goes, that's not happening. What do you mean that's not happening?
Is that what he said?
I just drove here after someone told me that I would get them. And he said, yeah, those pins that we only got the specific amount of people that we sold the pre-order to in person. So I can't give you someone else's pins. So I was like, how do I get my pins, sir? And he was like, I would feel better if people didn't pick them up and we still had some, I would then give them to you. So call us on Thursday. Today's Thursday. I called. I said, hey, yo, pins. And he was like, I have one extra. Come and get them. So I went on down and it was the same 2 people that I saw 2 days ago. And he was like, next time, pre-order from an in-store location and not online. And I was like, okay, bye.
Like you're supposed to know that? Like that's I hate when something's supposed to be super simple and then you have to go through like 18 different steps.
I work in customer service. I work guest relations. And the whole like point of that is to like figure out what the customer needs and not necessarily what they're asking for or what they want, and give them that. So if I'm saying, hey, I didn't get this thing, can I come to you and get it? You shouldn't just say, yeah, come on over. You should say, let me make sure that this is something that we can do. So you
Right.
don't come out here for no reason.
Right.
So I was a little upset, but today I have my game. I've played it. It's wonderful. And I have the pins.
So cute. Those are really
They're adorable.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you got them. I mean, I had heard most of that story already, but still, it's a whirlwind.
Yeah, so
Dude,
that happened.
So, okay, so we've ordered a bunch of stuff. Oh, by the way, for anyone listening, I moved actually. When did I move? Like June, July? No, this is July. I must have moved in the end of May. It was the end of May. Because my new roommate, who's
That's so long
actually
ago,
let me move in early because she knew I wanted to get out really bad. And we had both come in like from really bad roommate experiences. Hers just left. I was leaving a different one. And she was like, come on, just move in early. We won't tell the landlords. And I like hadn't been approved yet either. So, and oh my God, the process to get approved was ridiculous to get on a lease because I'm self-employed, and being self-employed is a pain in the butt. It is such a pain. It's like, so I also didn't realize, because I have all these different incomes, right? So I have income on Venmo and on PayPal and on like my bank account, and like it just all comes in from different places. So to like try to prove my income, I didn't even realize you can't even prove income from Venmo because they don't give you like a good layout. Like you can't download a good sheet. So I'm sending this sheet over and she's like, I can't read this. And I'm like, I know, it's bad. So it was a whole thing where, and then I had to like finish my taxes in order, even though I had proof of income, like, hey, I made this much money. She was like, sorry, we actually need you to do your taxes and send us that. And I was like, but this is the official form that I use to do my taxes. Why isn't that enough? So anyway, I did my taxes, which is also a pain because I'm self-employed. I mean, and I have so many streams, so I have to like do all of it. It's just, it was a mess. But I got approved, whatever. I'm with a new roommate. She has a dog. It's great. Anyway, my story related to that was we've been ordering a lot of stuff on Amazon and whatever so that we stay home. And she ordered, I want to say this was when she ordered, basically we got like a bed frame that we use for a couch. I had a mattress, she had an extra mattress. And she was like, why don't you use this mattress? Because it's like taller and feels more like an actual bed. And she's like, we could use your old mattress as a couch. So we got like a bed frame and we put it's like a Tempur-Pedic mattress, and then we got like a bunch of pillows for it. That way the dog can sleep on it too. But it was supposed to show up one day, and she was so excited about it. And she was literally outside walking her dog when the truck pulled up, right? They didn't come to our apartment at all. She checks her phone or her email or something later and finds out that they said that they attempted to deliver it. She was literally like staring at them. And knowing her, she was probably actually staring, because if she sees a FedEx truck, she's like, is that my stuff? And they were like, oh no, sorry. And it's like it's a big package. Like she would have noticed someone walking around with that. So they just like straight up didn't try.
I feel like that's what happened with Paper Mario and FedEx, because I looked out the window around the time that they said they tried to deliver it, and there was a FedEx truck in the middle of the street, and I saw a guy walk across the street and then come back and then drive away, and I was like, why isn't he coming over here? And I was like, it's probably a different truck, but I bet it was that truck.
I
didn't even try.
I wonder if they like, is it just so disorganized that they sometimes skip things and like don't realize, like, how does that work? I don't know how it works, but one of my neighbors was saying she thinks that because so many people have lost jobs right now that like they've hired a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing, kind of like
That is very
Postmates
possible.
too, because there's a lot of people where we're like,
That's
when did you get this job?
I would believe that.
Yeah. Which, like, more power to you. Get your job done. Do your job. You go.
Yeah.
And you
I'm
know
just
what?
like,
It
if you're
could have been
going
a
to do a
fluke, but
job, do it.
yeah.
I've actually ordered a lot of stuff lately as well. I ordered like a pull-up bar, and that came earlier than I expected, so that was good. Um, oh, we have been cleaning our apartment for the past like 2 weeks now because we bought a new couch because ours was like gross and old. So we've been cleaning so much. We have gotten rid of a lot of stuff, and I'm like, yes, no more hoarding. Except for my room. I'm not gonna like show you my room because, anyways, got the new couch that came and they delivered that on time. We got a new fridge, and there's a whole problem with that too. You already heard this, but I'm gonna tell it again because I only texted it to you. So we're getting a new fridge. We go to this place and we're looking at the fridges, and it's like a warehouse where a lot of their products are like scratched or dinged or bumped and stuff. So they sell it at like cheaper. So we fall in love with this one fridge from looking at the display, and they have it still in the box. So it's like brand new, but it's still like almost 50% off. It's 40% off from the original price. So we get this fridge, and I'm like looking it up online, and I see the same fridge for $500 cheaper at the same place, like the store that we're in's website. And I was like, this is this, but it's cheaper. And the girl was like, let me see. Oh, that's in Oklahoma. And my mom and I were like, oh, okay, that's in Oklahoma. Got it. So we bought the fridge. And then we got home and we were like, even if it is in Oklahoma, it's still that price on the website for this store. So being in Oklahoma does not matter. And the reason that it said that it was from Oklahoma was because the website said there were none at the location here. But obviously there were, since we bought it, and they had multiples. So my mom called the main customer service place and was like, this is the situation. It's not listed on the website for our location, but it says in Oklahoma it's $500 less. And so they were like, you need to go back to the location and talk to the manager and tell them this because you should get it for that price. This place is 40 miles away. It took an hour to get there, and we had already driven there yesterday. So we went back today and we were like, look, the website says, and you're telling us this, but that's not fair. And they were like, oh, but that's the out of the box price. And we're giving you a new one that's not been opened yet. And we were like, okay, then we'll just take the display one that we looked at that is open for this price. And they were like, oh, we can't do that. We don't actually sell we don't the display until the new ones are sold first. So they didn't give it to us, and we didn't get our $500. And they were like, you need to go. And also their customer service was like, the lady that was helping us, the actual manager of this location, was not friendly, not nice. When she was like done talking to us, or when she had said everything that she had said, she just walked away. She walked away. So yeah, not a good week for talking to customer service people. So we drove 2 hours out of our way for no reason today.
Thanks.
But it doesn't matter because we still got a fridge 40% off, super cheap for what we got. And that will be delivered on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hopefully on Tuesday.
It's so wild though. It's so weird how, like, I especially, I don't know, I feel like Nintendo and GameStop should have their shit together by now. But like, I do understand in a bigger corporation sense like that how like there can be miscommunications. But when it's not that big, I don't know how big that furniture store is. I don't know. It's just so weird that like everyone has limited information. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, if you do it this way, but then you go to them and you're like, this way, and they're like, nope, can't do that.
It's because they don't want to like use the resources they have to find out more information. They just want to go off the information that they have in their brain already.
That's a good point.
Because actually looking something up is more work.
Right. It's like, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but to toot my own horn. Like, as a teacher, I don't know stuff all the time. And instead of just being like, well, this is what I know, I would rather look it up and, like, kind of my skill is knowing what to look up if I don't know the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge skill that I need for my job.
And it's so easy these days. Like, everything is a click away.
Yeah.
So I find it very hard to excuse stuff like that because it's so easy to figure out.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, so that was the past few days for me. But yeah, but now we have our new couch. We cleaned a lot. I have my game, so I'm happy. I'm good, and there should be no more bad vibes in the future.
For the rest of your life.
Ever again.
Oh my god.
That like reminds me of when I was texting you earlier.
Uh-huh.
I was like, because people very easily disappoint me, like very easily. And I just expect people to disappoint me. And I was like,
yeah,
I see myself as an optimist, but if I expect everyone to be a disappointment, am I still an optimist? But the thing is, I expect good things to happen regardless of how stupid people are.
It's like, well, just because you expect people to disappoint you, well, first of all, you're causing less harm to yourself because you're like, you're already, you're not getting burned because you're
low
like,
expectations, high hopes.
Right. Whereas I like to go low expectations, low hopes, or high expectations, low hopes. What we're working on.
Which is not good.
It's not good. What was I gonna say? Oh, but you also like just have a way of knowing, even if that thing doesn't happen, that you're still gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I come up to an obstacle and I can't find a way around it, I'm like, this is it, this is the end. What are we gonna do?
This is what's going to kill me.
It's like, okay, because I've been struggling with EDD lately. Because oh, you froze. Are you there?
I'm there, yeah.
Oh, it's really laggy today.
You're just a little crackly.
Oh, so yeah, I've lost income since quarantine, right? Because I'm teaching on Zoom, and for some reason at one of the places I work, a bunch of people didn't.
Now you froze.
No.
The last thing I heard was you saying obstacles. You're like, this is it.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. So I was saying, wow. Oh, I've been struggling with EDD lately.
Oh yeah.
I lost income since the quarantine started because now I teach online. One of the places I work at, I don't know, a bunch of the students didn't want to go on Zoom. Plus there's other teachers, so I wonder if they kind of just went to other teachers that were doing in-person lessons, because some of them went back and I was like, nope, I'm staying home. Even though I'm losing money, I'm staying home. But I did lose income, so I found out about PUA, which you can apply for if you have loss of income because of the pandemic, right? And I applied for it back at the end of April. Still have not seen $1. So wait, oh God, I gotta tell this story. This is ridiculous. So by the way, I applied like at the very end of April, and then I didn't hear anything until a month later, like a full month later, and I had moved here. I receive a letter from EDD, and it's like, you've been accepted for this much money, and I'm like, yes, amazing, extra money so that I'm not like scared I'm gonna lose all my students and never be able to pay rent. And I was like, cool. So I'm like trying to go online to log in, and I find out that, oh, I have to wait for them to mail me my account number in order to even log in online to be able to start certifying, because you have to certify every 2 weeks to see if you're still qualified to get EDD, right? So I'm not receiving a letter. I find out that my old roommates have a letter for me that had been mailed there. My roommate and I went and picked it up. I open it. It's a letter that I think was delivered a little bit earlier, maybe even the same day, I'm not sure, saying I wasn't qualified for PUA. And then like a few days later, I get another letter saying I am qualified, but it's like an amended notice. So they amended the amount that I qualified for. So in order, I got, you don't get it, you get it, you get it, but it's for less money than we said. And I was like, okay, still money. And I'm just going to assume that the latest one is the most right one. And I still wasn't receiving my account number. So I found, because there's a bunch of people online who are like having issues with EDD, so we found out a way to get my account number, which is I had to apply for disability, which obviously I was not going to qualify. But it gave me my account number so I could make an account on the page. And I log in, and it doesn't have a certify button. So it won't let me certify, and I can't get my money. And anyone who's tried calling EDD knows it's literal hell. You have to call, and then it'll be like, sorry, there are too many people. We're going to hang up on you, bye. And you just have to redial until you finally get through.
It's like worse than the DMV.
Oh my God, it's so bad. And then there's like other phone numbers, and people are like, oh, this one works. And then there's like, this one's extended hours, and no one knows about this one. And so I found a number and would like call. And I got through, and I talked to this lady who was a bitch. Like, I understand that she has a stressful job and she's dealing with people who don't have money and are scared, and like, but she just straight up blamed all of the problems on me. Didn't try anything. I was like, hey, I logged into the system and it won't let me certify, whatever. So what happened was she went to go check on my account, right? And she like logged into my account, which for some reason made the certify button appear on my page, because I had checked so many times. And she was like, are you even on the page? Like, go check it. And I was like, oh, it's there now. It wasn't there before. And she was like, well, I don't know what you're doing wrong in the online system, but all you have to do is press the button. And I was like, okay. And she was just like arguing with everything I said. I was being so nice. And I was just trying to get answers. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's all I need. Thank you. And she was like, okay, have a great day. Bye. And she like hung up on me. Like super rude. I was furious. I was like, we're going to get through this. Since then, I've talked to 3 people. Literally days where I would just redial and I would never even get put on hold. And then when you do get put on hold, I've been kind of lucky. It's only been like 40 minutes of waiting. And the second one was like, oh, you were denied. And I was like, actually, I got a denial letter and another letter and another letter. And he looked and he was like, oh, you're right. He was super nice. He was the nicest dude. And what did he tell me to do? I don't remember. Oh, he said he was gonna like talk to a specialist and they would call me 3 to 5 days, but he was like, wait 7 to 10 to call back. And I was like, weird, but okay. I waited 7 to 10. I called back. Like I still, it's been weeks now and I never got a call from a specialist. So I called again, finally got through to a woman. She's like, what's going on, and I told her my issues, and she's like, okay, give me your information so I can check into your account. She starts putting the information in, and then she goes, oh my God, you're gonna hate me. My system just went down. I know you've been on hold and everything, but she was like, if you want to tell me your problem and see if there's anything I can do. And I was like, okay, well, I'll tell you. I'm like, I get it, whatever. I told her everything, and she's like, yeah, I think you'll just have to hang up and call again. And I'm like, it's not that easy. She was like, the whole system's not down, just mine. And I was like, great.
Can't you just transfer me to someone else?
That's what okay, I'm getting worked up. Okay. And then I'm like, and I wait days between calling because it's so energy sucking for me. And
you have to
yes, I get through to a fourth person. She was like, not the meanest, not the nicest. And I told her my situation, and she was like, oh yeah, you just have to send in an appeal form. Which I don't know, she kind of sounded like I should have known to do this, but I didn't realize that I had to appeal a notice that had since been revised. So anyway, I did that, and she was like, oh, but it is due within a month of the post date, which is in a few days. So I sent it yesterday, and hopefully it'll get there in time. It's almost been 3 months since I applied, and I'm like, thank God that I'm making enough money that I'm okay without it. I just I kind of wanted it as a little bit of a safety net, because what if an emergency happens, or I can't. Yeah.
Usually with mail-in stuff, they and deadlines, it's the date that it's postmarked. So it should be you sent it out yesterday. That should be the day that they count as receiving it.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But yeah, and that's the thing. I know people are going through so much worse. I'm part of these Facebook groups of people, and these poor people are trying to eat. I'm like, and they can't get through to people either. And I've been stressing like crazy over it, so I can't imagine. I'm seriously, thank God I lost income, but it's enough. And thank God when I moved, I found a place I could afford, and
you're okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so that happened.
It's kind of weird because the past few days, I haven't thought about because up until just a few days ago, every day has been okay, what's going on? Who's not wearing their masks? Who's going out too much? Who's making it so we can't open up sooner? Are we opening up? Who's trying to open up when we're not supposed to? Okay, now we're closing again. Every day was that whole thought process. But the past few days, probably about the past 2 weeks, because I've been so focused on just cleaning and getting ready for the couch to come and thinking about the stuff that I have coming in the mail, it's been I haven't thought about any of that.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Good, because I'm not stressing about it, but bad because I feel I'm not in the loop anymore.
Yeah.
But also nothing has changed.
Yeah, what is
nothing has changed.
That's the thing. I've been better about staying in the loop about with news and everything since all this happened, because I don't know, there was a moment where I kind of realized it's actually important to know what's happening, whereas before I used to kind of just not care about anything.
Yeah, I used to just be it's not affecting me, so it doesn't matter, which is dangerous to the people that it's affecting.
Yes. And then which is great, but it is I start to feel more and more hopeless the more that I read, because I'm what can I even do? I just feel useless.
Literally all I do, I have I've signed so many petitions that I get a lot of emails that are this petition needs to be signed. And I'm okay. So now it's just I check my email every night before I go to bed and just sign a bunch of petitions.
Mm-hmm.
And I share as much like information that I get as possible on the social media. So I'll like retweet stuff and share stuff to my story. And I'm not checking Facebook as much lately just because I've been so busy doing other things that I can't really sit down and get into a whole Facebook argument that takes hours. But again, that's like a privilege that I have, and like it sucks that other people don't have that.
Yeah. Oh my God, my friend said I went in on someone on Facebook yesterday. I don't think he replied because it was a bunch of people from the Sweeney Toddcast, because it was this one guy, and we love him, but we don't really talk to him. At least I don't. Like we haven't since the show. But my friend saw this post and this idiot's response. It had to do with wearing masks, and she went in, and I was like, I got your back, and I went in, and then our other friend went in, and we were just like, you're so dumb. It's like, here's the thing, I have seen some arguments that I don't agree with that I understand where they come from, but this one was like on another planet. I don't, it's hard for me not to be constantly stressed out about how, like, I feel like people who aren't wearing masks and aren't staying home are literally taking my life away from me. And the irony is, they feel like we're doing that to them. However, if they had just given up their life for a short period of time, like everyone else, we could have all gone back sooner. Here's like the biggest argument that I've realized I believe. Because it's really hard for people to like admit that they don't know things, right? Like, I know there's a bunch of people who think this is pandemic, and I'm like, okay, maybe. Let's say it is. We don't know, right? Nobody knows. I don't think it is, but I don't know. I don't know anything. Would you rather risk killing people or risk looking a little stupid and like losing your life for like a short period of time so that other people don't die? It's like, which one do you, because we don't know. No side trusts the government. We just don't trust them on different things, right? Everyone's like, government's hard to trust. Yeah, like, obviously, we all feel that way. But like, which one would you rather risk?
Yeah.
And like your kids' lives, I don't understand.
Yeah. I get so upset because like my dad does nothing but listen to the news, and sometimes it's Fox News, sometimes it's CNN, and it's just like plays on a loop all day long, and like later at night you hear the same stuff that they were talking about during the day, and I'm like, I already heard this. So I hear both sides and what they're saying, and it's just like the way that they spin things, it's not even spinning it, it's literally lying and fear-mongering with zero factual evidence or information. And it's just like, it has nothing to do with the situation that's trying to be fixed and everything to do with being against the people that want to fix the situation.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off, because it's not people are dying from a disease, it's those people want us to wear masks, and I hate those people, so I'm not going to.
Do you feel like it's like that on both sides?
No, I don't. I honestly don't, which is another thing that frustrates me, because I don't see it that way. Because one side is saying wear a mask to save someone's life, and the other one is saying don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, it's literally just an authority issue, which is so wild to me, because they're also like, law and order. What?
I keep seeing arguments that are like, the people that aren't helping the situation are the ones that are saying my freedoms and don't tell me what to do. Literally, there are so many ways that you are being told what to do, that your freedom is infringed upon, that you do not think about, you do not care about. But just because somebody is saying do this one thing to perhaps help someone that is not yourself, they're upset about it.
Yes, and you know what's interesting is actually wearing a mask can help you too, from what I've seen. So I still don't, I don't know. I'm like beyond the point of, I'm like, can I ever understand? Probably not.
It's frustrating, it's tiring. And like, that's the worst part, is because it tires you out to the point where you don't want to fight for it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when you lose.
Yeah.
But it's just like, just open your eyes and ears, listen to what the other person is trying to say and why they're saying it, and not just shutting them down because you don't want to hear it.
This is the thing. I know you and I spend so much time listening to sides that we don't agree with so that we can check ourselves and make sure that we're like not missing something huge. And all the people I know that believe those things I don't agree with aren't doing the same thing.
I know, which is so annoying.
Because it's like when someone's like, here, watch this, and we're like, okay, and then we're like, but watch this, and they're like, no, you're dumb.
No.
Have you watched anything you don't agree with? Because that's like the only way.
It's literally like, I'm like, convince me why I'm wrong, and they're like, I'm gonna convince you why you're wrong, but not even that, because they try and it just doesn't work, and they don't, like, they'll say, why do you think that? And you'll show them like your whole list of like the reasons that prove why you think that and why it's right, and they're like, I can't read.
I can't read.
I can't read, I can't see, like, I'm blind now, so there's no way that your like facts are going to get into my brain. There was one person that I was arguing with, and they were sending me links to articles that proved my point.
Amazing.
But the headline, like when you post the link and you just see like the top line, was a little bit ambiguous, where it could go either way. But as soon as you clicked on it and read the article, it was totally against what they were saying.
So they didn't even read the articles they were sending you to prove their point?
Mm-mm.
I would just...
That's another thing that people do. They just read headlines and not further into the story. Like, I get that there's a lot of bad things in the world right now, and we're trying to change the world. A lot of bad things have happened in the past that should never have happened. But if you send me an article from 10 years ago, I'm going to say, yeah, that's bad, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we are fighting for those things to stop happening now. I don't need to hear about what happened 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. Like, even when I'm on the same side with someone, I'm like, this is irrelevant to the argument happening right now.
Yeah.
But like, click on the link. Don't just read the headline. The date is usually right at the top, and then the first paragraph will tell you further what the article is about than just the headline.
Yeah.
Tips for staying informed. But it's exhausting, it's tiring, and I don't plan on giving up. That's the thing. So like,
the thing that keeps catching me, like, I don't know what to do, is like, who's worth arguing with? Is anyone actually going to hear anybody? I don't know, like, what's worth? Because some people are like, block them, they're stupid. But like, what if you say something that changes their mind? I don't know. Oh, you're like totally frozen, like completely. I don't know if you can hear me.
The internet cut out. The last thing I heard was the thing that keeps catching me.
Oh yeah, which is like a weird way to word it. But like, the thing that I keep coming back to is what's worthwhile to argue, because I just, like, I've never, ever, ever seen a Facebook argument end in someone going, oh, you're right. So like, when is it really worth it? Because I feel like these people are just committed to believing that, i.e., racism doesn't exist, or like we don't need to wear masks, or masks are killing people. That's how they talk, by the way.
It's like they're afraid of having too much information. Like there's there's no such thing as too much information.
I still don't. I'm like, show me some more evidence that masks are killing people.
Show me any evidence that masks are killing people except for those 2 children who were in PE class that passed out and they don't even know if the mask is what killed them.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
In
then
the
like
past,
2 people versus millions of people. You're really gonna say, but masks are killing people? Isn't coronavirus maybe killing some people? Maybe. Possibly.
maybe. Is there a slight chance?
Just a little bit. I used to be so like, I don't like politics, but this isn't politics. It's like caring about people. I don't know.
Honestly, like at this point, I don't know what politics is, because when I think about politics and when I think about like voting for a president, for instance, I'm like, which president cares about people? And which president cares about money, power, and all eyes being on them?
So like the only argument that I've heard that I kind of can understand where they're coming from in terms of like focusing on the economy is that making sure that the economy is stable so that people have homes and food and stuff. Like I get that part. Like I know people were like, but if we don't go back to work, people are going to be starving and they're going to die because they won't have food and there's going to be so much homelessness. And I'm like, can't we figure out? I mean, other countries figured out ways around that.
Honestly, we have been closed for so long now, and everyone keeps saying if everyone just takes part in doing their job, we will be out of this in 2 months. It's been what, 5 months now going on? So and we have no clear end.
I know. I keep seeing people on Facebook and Instagram that I'm friends with, like going out to restaurants or whatever, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And then I realize they live in like Ireland or Australia. And I'm like, oh my God, there are places where they can just go back.
There are places where things are back to normal. Like
that literally makes me
aren't even worried about it anymore.
Literally.
It upsets me so much. Like, why are we?
Just because that's the closest place. But I don't know. I don't think they even would let us in right now, would they?
I saw a Canadian comic that was like, it showed a fence and like a couple Canadians on their side, and they were like barricading the fence, and you could see over the fence, and it was just like virus bubbles and fireworks and guns in the air and people chanting USA, USA.
Oh my God, I have to tell my fireworks story.
Oh God, maybe on another podcast.
Why? How long have we been going?
I have no idea, but also you've told me this story like I feel like 5 times now.
Are you like sick of it?
We've been going for like an hour.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe a little bit less or a little more, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you're right, we should wrap it up eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, news and reviews.
Paper Mario, the new one, the Origami King for the Switch. Get it. I recommend. I'm already like, I've been playing for a few hours now. Everyone has to watch, if you can. It's on Amazon Prime Video, the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It is so good. It's about this housewife in the 50s, Jewish housewife, who starts following her newfound dream of being a comedian. a stand-up comic. She is hilarious. The whole show is so funny. And if you ever like had any doubts in your mind that women are better than men, does that make sense? Like, if you ever didn't think that women are better than men, if you watch this show, you will realize how much better women are than men, and also how all men are trash. And it's just fact.
But don't let that stop you if you're. I know some dudes who actually love the show, like straight dudes too. Like, don't let the fact that it'll make you
It's
feel trash
really
about yourself
good.
stop you from watching it. I saw a few random episodes of it, and it's gorgeous, like visually. The
Oh, it's so
costumes.
beautiful.
And
Yeah,
she's great.
it's like
Great leading lady.
like a look right into the 50s.
Yeah, it's really pretty. Oh, so Glass Animals, their album is coming out soonish, and the songs that are out are great. It's called Dreamland. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Joji's album was supposed to come out, but I think it's coming out in September now, but the songs on that are awesome too. Don't remember what that's called, to be honest. But if you look up Joji, it's the newest one, and it's not out yet.
I've never heard of that.
Joji is Filthy Frank. He has a music career now. I don't know if you know who he is. He was a YouTuber.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
But he has like really pretty lo-fi music. Like when he first came out with it, everyone was like, that's the same person. It's like Filthy Frank was like, I didn't like him as a YouTuber because I was like, you're too much. It's too much like shock humor and gross humor, and like my boyfriend likes him, but I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. And I've only watched one episode, but Death Note seems cool.
So good. So good.
Oh, and 13th, watch it on Netflix. It makes you think.
Yes, watch the documentary 13th. It's on Netflix. You can also watch it on YouTube for free if you don't have Netflix, because YouTube was like, this is an important movie right now. It's up for free. So 13th, it's a really good documentary, and it'll learn you some stuff about the 13th Amendment and how slavery was not really abolished completely, technically.
Yes.
Even though everyone's like, we ended slavery. But
it makes you think about how like a chain of events would lead to there still being racism that we don't see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Until you see.
No spotlight, because I still haven't listened to any podcasts. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can follow us. We'll be back on Instagram at PLU Podcast. We're also on Twitter and on Patreon at PLU Podcast. And we do have stickers for merch. Redbubble.com/People Like Us Podcast.
Sure.
I don't know, try a few different things. They're like, I'm not doing work for your stickers. Yeah, I get. Oh, we were considering making this a YouTube video. If this becomes a YouTube video, I don't know, like, comment, subscribe, do those things. As far as the podcast goes, I'm like out of things to say. I don't know. Oh, our patrons.
Yes.
Thank you, patrons. Do we still have the same patrons? It's been like a month.
I don't remember, honestly.
Wait, I'm going to pause the podcast and then we'll check. And we're back. Thank you to Doug and Risty for continuing to support us, and we're glad to be back.
Yeah, and try to be consistent from now on. We may have a new day that we're posting. We'll see.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Well, have a
Thanks
good...
for listening / watching. Bye.